It's true that some things change as we get older. But if you're a woman over 40 and you're dealing with insomnia, brain fog, moodiness, and weight gain, you don't have to accept it as just another part of aging. And with MIDI Health, you can get help and stop pushing through it alone. The experts at MIDI understand that all these symptoms can be connected to the hormonal changes that happen around menopause, and MIDI can help you feel more like yourself again. Many healthcare providers aren't trained to treat or even recognize menopause symptoms. MIDI clinicians are menopause experts. They're dedicated to providing safe, effective, FDA-approved solutions for dozens of hormonal symptoms, not just hot flashes. Most importantly, they're covered by insurance. 91% of MIDI patients get relief from symptoms within just 2 months. You deserve to feel great. Book your virtual visit today at joinmidi.com. That's joinmidi.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Way podcast, where we learn in English poco a poco or podcast by podcast. Today, we're looking at verb patterns. So we have already done verb patterns that follow with to. Today, we are going to look at verb patterns that follow with ing, with ing. So remember that a verb pattern is two verbs together, right? For example, we did I want to break free. Want siempre sigue con to. Today, we're going to look at verbs that go with ing. For example, I enjoy playing the guitar. Enjoy siempre va con ing. Right, so let's get into it.
Bienvenido al podcast de The Way. Si quieres aprender inglés y hablar con confianza, estás en el sitio correcto. Hemos ayudado a miles de personas como tú a mejorar su inglés y alcanzar sus objetivos. Visita nuestra web theway.es para conocer más sobre nuestros cursos online desde A2 hasta C1 y descubre cómo podemos ayudarte a avanzar en tu aprendizaje. Además, si necesitas una certificación oficial, también ofrecemos la opción de realizar el examen Language Pair cómodamente desde casa.
Okie dokie. So I have 20 verbs for you today, and all of these verbs follow with ing. So remember that verb 1, right? These verbs that I'm going to tell you, these are all verb 1s, right? They can go in any tense, past, simple, present, perfect, in the future, in the continuous, right? So all of the verbs that I'm going to give you in the English and the Spanish, they are verb 1. They will always follow with any other verb, lo que sea verbo que sigue, pero siempre con ing, right? So let's look at the example I gave you in the introduction. Enjoy. I enjoy playing the guitar. But I can also say, I enjoyed playing the guitar. I can say, I will enjoy going to the cinema. It doesn't matter. So verb 1, enjoy, will be in any tense, cualquier tiempo, and then it will always follow con lo que sea verbo con ing. Right. So I have 20 verbs. Like I said, I'm going to do them in bunches of 5. So grupos de 5, and then we will repeat. Okay. So let's start with verb number 1, which is admit. Admit in Spanish is admitir, confesar, reconocer. The example I have here is admit to stealing. He admitted to stealing the necklace, el collar. But remember that I said admit, or these verbs need to follow with ing. Here's the problem. Admit is a weird verb. That's why I put it at the beginning. A veces podemos poner con tu, el verbo admit, solo admit. O sin el tu. Normalmente yo digo con tu. Siempre digo admit to something, right? So you can say he admitted stealing the necklace, or you can say he admitted to stealing the necklace. But this is not normal. This is the exception. Let's do verb number 2, which is appreciate. Apreciar, agradecer. I appreciate you washing the dishes. Okay. Avoid, evitar, eludir. Students usually avoid studying for exams, right? I avoid doing a lot of things. Sometimes when I'm lazy, cuando estoy vaga o perezosa, I avoid cleaning the house, or I avoid doing the dishes. Celebrate is the next verb. Celebrate. Celebrar, festejar, conmemorar, right? We are going to celebrate Granny, abuela, turning 80. Now in English, when it is your birthday and you are going to go 1 year older, right? Decimos turn, like maybe convertir, right? So it is changing the age. So for example, this year I turned 35. How old are you turning this year, right? So let's repeat the sentence. We are going to celebrate Granny turning 80. The final verb for this in the first group is consider, which in Spanish is considerar, pensar en, right? Consider. Have you considered quitting your job? You can see I've used present perfect in a question, and after the verb one, I followed with ing, quitting, para dejar el trabajo, right? Have you considered quitting your job? So let's repeat those first 5. These first 5 verb ones is admit, appreciate, avoid, celebrate, and consider. Right. Let's do the next group. The next group starts with delay. Delay is retrasar o aplazar, right? He delayed paying the fine. A fine es una multa, right? I also avoid paying. Well, I don't avoid. You can't avoid paying a fine. You have to pay the fine. But maybe I will try to delay paying the fine, right? So the next verb is deny, negar or denegar. She denied cheating on him. Now, I can't remember how to say cheating in Spanish. Algo con cuernos. What is it? Poner los cuernos, hacer los cuernos. Write in the comments and just clarify for me how to say to cheat on someone in Spanish. Because in the example, she denied cheating on him. The next verb is dislike, desagradar or no gustar. I dislike watching sports on TV. You can also say I don't like or I dislike. It's the same. The next verb is enjoy, disfrutar, which I did in the example. She enjoys going to the gym. He enjoys playing football. And the final one for this group is finish, terminar, acabar, right? For example, she finally finished reading the book. Okay, so we have delay, deny, dislike, enjoy, and finish. Right, so we are halfway through. Let's continue. Group 3, right? The first verb in group 3 is imagine, imaginar, right? Can you imagine winning the lottery? Oof, I can't imagine. Well, I can imagine winning the lottery. I'll buy a beautiful house in the campo of Spain. Maybe by the beach or maybe by the mountains. Can you imagine winning the lottery? If you won the lottery, what would you buy? I can imagine buying a new house. I can imagine traveling all over the world, right? Let me know in the comments what you would do. Okay, the next verb is involve. Involucrar, implicar, suponer, right? Training for a marathon involves running every day, right? Involves running. Verb 3 of this group is keep, guardar, mantener, tener. I keep forgetting to make an appointment, right? I forget and I forget and I forget. I keep forgetting. The next one is mind, which is importar. Now you can say I mind or I don't mind. Usually in English we use it in the negative to say no me importa, right? I don't mind doing the laundry. What is laundry? Laundry is when you wash your clothes, right? So I don't mind doing the laundry, right? You can say in the positive, I mind, but it's not normal. Usually we use it in the negative. And the final one for this group is miss. Echar de menos, perderse, fallar, right? I use it all the time. You can say I miss you with the sustantivo, but usually we use it with actions as well. For example, I miss swimming in the ocean. The Mediterranean Sea is beautiful, but a sea is not the same as the ocean. You know, in South Africa, we have the Indian Ocean, and it is so fantastic to swim there. Except the sharks. I don't miss swimming with the sharks because there are big, great white sharks in South Africa. Right. So let's go through them. So that's group 3. We have imagine, involve, keep, mind, and miss. Now, the final group that brings us up to from 16 to 20. Let's go through them. The verb is postpone, posponer, aplazar, right? The teacher postponed setting the exam until next week. Postpone. Then we have practice, practicar. They need to practice speaking in English. Easy peasy, that's an easy one. Then we have regret, lamentar, arrepentirse. He regretted not studying for the exam. So, can you see I made the sentence in negative? When the sentence is in negative, no usamos don't or wasn't or lo que sea, must just be el verbo one, not, que sigue con verbo to, right? He regretted not studying. He regretted not going. Okay. Then we have risk, arriesgar. They risked arriving late, right? So if you are a smoker, right, which if you smoke cigarettes, you can say you risk getting lung cancer, right? So they always risk mas ing. The final verb that we have here is suggest, which is sugerir, proponer. She suggested going ice skating for the date. Suggested going. All right, so it's very easy. The problem with these verbs is that you must remember. So we did the podcast with the verbs with to and these verbs that go with ing, and there's no trick. There's no pista, there's no truco, there's no nada. You just have to study and remember which verbs with to and which verbs with ing. So these final verbs are postpone, practice, regret, risk, and suggest. Okie dokie. Right, so I'm going to read the transcript. Remember that you can get the transcript directly from the website. It's not going to be on any of our platforms that you are listening to. You can only get the transcript directly from the website, which is www.dewey.s. Right, so go onto our website. You just click the blog tab. The tab is the button, and you can find all our blogs and podcasts there. Okay, remember that if you are listening to this podcast, you get a 20% discount, un descuento de 20%. You just write in POD in mayúscula, in capital letters, POD 20 or POD 20, right, for the 20% discount. And remember now that we can pay the courses on the way monthly. You can pay basically 30 euros, which is más barato que un gimnasio. It's cheaper to learn English than to go to the gym, right? So you can pay 30 euros a month. Basically, at the moment, we have a limited time offer for this, and you can get started on your English. Right, everyone. Let's go through the transcript together. I'm not going to say any interruptions, no Spanish. I'm just going to read it exactly as it is. Are you ready? Let's go. Admit. He admitted to stealing the necklace. Appreciate. I appreciate you washing the dishes for me. Avoid. Students usually avoid studying for exams. Celebrate. We're going to celebrate Granny turning 80. Consider. Have you considered quitting your job? Delay. He delayed paying the fine. Deny. She denied cheating on him. Dislike. I dislike watching sports on TV. Enjoy. She enjoys going to the gym. Finish. She finally finished reading the book. Imagine. Can you imagine winning the lottery? Involve. Training for a marathon involves running every day. Keep. I keep forgetting to make an appointment. Mind. I don't mind doing the laundry. Miss. I miss swimming in the ocean. Postpone. The teacher postponed setting the exam until next week. Practice. they need to practice speaking in English. Regret. He regretted not studying for the exam. Risk. They risked arriving late. Suggest. She suggested going ice skating for the date. Right, everyone, that's it for today. We will do next week the uses of to and ing. So we have done verb patterns. Now, verb patterns is important, but it's not the only aspect para los usos de tu y ing. So we will complete this little grammar point next week with all the uses and how to use to and ing, not only verb patterns. So I will see you next week. And until then, our homework for today is choose, let's say maybe 5 or 6 of these verbs and create your own sentences. You can put them in the comments. You can write them in your notebook. But if you put them in the comments, then we can correct them for you and to check if the grammar is correct. Otherwise, I will see you next week. Bye.
Si disfrutaste de este episodio y quieres llevar tu inglés al siguiente nivel, te invitamos a descubrir nuestros cursos online en theway.es, diseñados para mejorar tu fluidez y confianza en situaciones reales. Hemos ayudado a miles de personas como tú a transformar su aprendizaje. Visita ahora theway.es y realiza nuestro test de nivel interactivo de manera gratuita. Además, si necesitas una certificación oficial, también ofrecemos la opción de realizar el examen de Mid-Third cómodamente desde casa.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and Talkspace, the leading virtual therapy provider, is telling everyone, let's face it in therapy. By talking or texting with a supportive, licensed therapist at Talkspace, you can face whatever is holding you back, whether it's mental health symptoms, relationship drama, past trauma, bad habits, or another challenge that you need support to work through. It's easy to sign up. Just go to Talkspace.com and you'll be paired with a provider, typically within 48 hours. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule. Plus, Talkspace is in-network with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. Make your mental health a priority and start today. If you're not covered by insurance, get $80 off your first month with Talkspace when you go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80. That's SPACE80. To match with a licensed therapist today, go to Talkspace.com and enter promo code SPACE80.